words about Helsinki. It's the capital of Finland, 1.2 million people, so we are not a mega city, not anywhere close to that. Interestingly enough, we have a creative strategy in the city since 1994. We are one of the first cities in the world who put creativeness as core of the city strategy. And we did that because we had to. Finnish economy collapsed in 1992. Nothing was left. We have the 20% unemployment in 1992. So we had to do something. So we decided to do this with far before there was Richard Florida or anything out there, because that was the city's only survival. It went pretty well. So now today, close to 10% of the workforce is in the creative sector. It's double the EU average. We are behind London, but around the same neighborhood than Amsterdam as the creative sector's role in the economy and in the business. And we have now, right now, the strong sectors are gaming. We are the game capital of the world. So when we went into the World Design Capital, so it kind of same thing like in Torino, it fit to the bigger picture. Moving forward, have done things before, but also having the need to take the next step. And also having a long design history, but still needing, you can't go forever talking about history. You also have to create new things, take your next step, look about yourself, make a change. So we said we are embedding design in life. That means that going all aspects of the life, all aspects of the life of the city, and see what role design either is having or could have there to make the city better. So city is about people. So it's difficult, in our understanding, and design is about people. Design is about understanding people. So one thing that we did was we went out and asked the people, how would you like your city be improved? What should be focused? Give an idea what to do. So this girl was taking one of the idea workshops we had in 2010. We actually had idea workshops organized for 1 million people. We covered the whole area, asked people went out the street, asked what you would like to see, and more precisely, what you would like to happen in your own city. It was also a great thing to raise awareness about design and design capital. That's this time it's not going to be an object in a museum. It's about you, it's about your city, what design can do for you and your city. In the same manner, this is southern Finland, you don't notice it, but this is how the country looks like in the southern part. To do that, in a way, we decided to be very collaborative. That was already in the bid, and that was also in the idea. So we had whole the metropolitan region, which is actually 5 cities. I'm not going into very complicated governing systems there, but that's how it is. We had the central government, we had 2 universities, very important part of the project. We had a lot of corporate partners, so having a dialogue and then co-organizing together with the public and the private sector was very important for our project. We had, of course, the core is the NGOs and the design community, so kind of civil society as a driver of the project, very much so. And then last but not least, always focus on the citizens, having the idea that this is why we do this is why they own the city. And then just reminding you that the corporate partners also play a big role, because that was asked me before my presentation, and we were the first city who did a very large corporate partners program. And it's good because they can really give strength, and then there's one very interesting notion. If you think about corporate partners, let's say in sports, they are there, they are present, they sponsor, but very few of them actually have sports in their main business. They only use to support their business. But if you think about design, it's right in the heart of very many industries. It's the key competitive edge. So it's a totally different approach for many companies to work together with design projects and design, because it's about them, it's about how they succeed. So these are the facts and figures. Now you can have different aspects, but in a project manner, this is how it looks like. We did too many projects, the usual problem. Always these kind of projects, you do too many projects. We did also. We had lots of organization to have this wide coverage of the city. We had almost 15,000 people who were really working, doing something in the projects, making it happen. And then 2.5 million people participated in these projects during that year. For Helsinki size, these are big numbers. We are happy about that. This was the beginning, New Year's night, as we decided to start at quite many places. We built a wooden pavilion to the city center. We called it the training ground for urban activism. So it was not actually about design exhibitions. We had that there too. But it was about people to come together, to continue the discussion, to do something, and then see how design can interact and have an impact in their things, what they are doing. We also did, of course, exhibitions. This monster is actually built by different products from Finland, different industrial design stuff, from snow scooters to mobile phones. We also, of course, worked the design district, and design district in Helsinki is an interesting thing because it's not a kind of a concept that was built by somewhere, but it's a grassroots initiative. Small design companies and stores got together, have an association and said, yes, we are a design district, and that's how it evolved. This is what we did for children, for example. Every 6-year-old in the metropolitan region participate in the design workshops. So we created a box for daycare centers. Helsinki Design Week is one of the oldest design weeks, strangely enough, because when it was founded 12 years ago, there were less than 10 design weeks in the world. Today, more than 100. Something has happened in the world of design. We also had some great architecture built in the same time, some of by coincidence, some of on purpose. This was one of the chapel by Helsinki architects who got ready, and so we used it a lot for the present modern architecture now in the city. One thing what also was exciting that surprisingly organizations got the idea. This is Helsinki University is a classical science university. It's not a design school, but they decided to use designers and design thinking to renew the way how they think and see things. So they created a science corner right in the city center to have a dialogue with everybody. It was a project, but it became a permanent facility. So now they are running it on daily basis. It's hard to describe what it actually is, but it's a place where they interact with everybody. We also this was the Aalto University's project, our big design school. They did projects with urban renewal in suburbs. They renewed healthcare services and different services in the city. And then they also were talking about how to cope with the change in the city. More than 100 design PhD students from all over the world also participate in this project. What else you can design? You can design your work life. So we had a project, great initiative. Let's talk about how we spend our days in the office, and then how we can change that. So it became as an initiative, then it became a project, and now it's a company. So this company is now actually doing internationally renewal of the office work. Because we have a modern life, but we use the industrial age methods in our works. So let's stop that. We also put design in the cityscape. For example, the airport and different companies work together. For example, there's different kind of lounges for everybody that were created. Security control was changed to be more pleasant. And I give you one example. Why on earth security controls in the airports are so clinical and there's no need for that. So a group of designers studies who travel and found out that one of the most stressing points in our travel is the security control. And look at how they look. People are uniforms, metallic, very clinical. So they have started to test in Helsinki to put wood, very soft image, no uniform, kind of more peaceful uniforms and nice atmosphere. Because there's no need to be clinical and rude. It's just checking you that you have everything okay. So finally, it's also got a huge media attention. It was really a surprise for us. Over 8,000 articles in the international media. That's quite a lot per day. Also, it fits with the picture of Helsinki. We were the most livable city in 2011 by Monocle, and we have been in top 5 since a couple of years. So, and also yesterday was published kind of an index where all the indexes were put together. All quality of life and livable city indexes were put together by somebody. And Helsinki was number 5 when all the indexes from The Economist to Monocle and etc. are put together. New York Times put Helsinki as number 2, the place to go on that year. Now Cape Town was number 1 this January in this list. So let's see if Taipei creates a category of its own. All kind of in-flight magazines, this was Lufthansa as a cover story. They all covered our project and our city and how design is linked to that. Here is Eero Aarnio, a great old master, Harri Koskinen, one of our younger big names, Minna Parikka, fashion designer, etc. So we made a cafe that was remote control design, so people could change the chairs and tables, etc. And it became the most popular video on BBC for a month. So finally, after doing this project, coming somewhere, going somewhere, what happens next? First of all, I'm a chairman in a foundation that runs a program for the legacy. So we are trying to make sure that cities are using the design efficiently also in the future, making sure that design is still part of the image of Helsinki, maybe even stronger than before, making sure that different experiments and events are still going on around design, and then being here today, being part of a network. We are family, let's take good care of the family. And this is what we call design-driven city, that's our program. And then to finalize all this and put it back to the bigger framework, which I did 7 years ago when I started to work for the city council and thinking about what we should do. And talking with the politicians, I created this one. So how you develop a city? There are cities that are very functional. Trains come on time, it's very clean, very fine. There's no fun. They don't inspire you. So think about fun as very deep, very serious thing. How to inspire people, that's fun. So there are cities that are very functional, no fun. That's not where we want to go. There are cities that are no fun and not functional. So here, there are cities that are great fun but not functional. People usually say Rio de Janeiro, samba, all that beautiful. But what about public transportation, cleaning systems, quality of life for everybody? They're now working with that a lot, but we know it all for fun. So for Helsinki, the only possibility is to be in this box. Be both, be functional and be fun. And whenever you make a decision in the city council, city board, I tell the politicians, think about, are you strengthening the fun part or are you strengthening the functional part? And when you are doing that, are you sure that you are not weakening the other one, that you are keeping the balance? So I presented this box to mayor's office and politicians and say, when you are talking about some issues in the board, and the council, think about, are you making our city better in both ways? So World Design Capital also is part of that way of thinking. So what happened? This was one of the first tests. This thing is a restaurant day, Great Helsinki Innovation. A bunch of people got together, decided that everybody can have a restaurant. So let's, on one particular day, go out on streets and have a restaurant. Beatrice might have a Spanish Catalonian restaurant and so. Some Taipei people would like to put a Taipei restaurant. 5 days before it happened, the city council realized that there could be 350 new restaurants next weekend out there. None of them have any permissions, no health checks, no nothing. What to do? So city council made a very wise decision, and I'm very happy about it. They said, we are aware of that thing, they said, and we must point out that it's based on the law and the local regulation. You must have all the health and other issues and all the papers ready. But we also tell, they said, there will be no checks this weekend. So this has been there for 8 times already. Every quarter there's one restaurant day. So maybe I'm thinking about maybe next one I go out and have my own restaurant running there. So finally, this was the story of Helsinki as the world design capital. This is where we came from, and this is where we are moving.